Oh, it's been great.
That's way better.
And then every now and then some retarded shit comes on, and I just skip through it real quick, and I'm like, gotta keep this algorithm going good.
Or you text me a Bigfoot AI thing.
The Bigfoot ones are so silly.
They're so bad.
They're so silly. You actually texted me the Bigfoot one.
Well, it was the same guy. You said the same guy had texted you back. I was like, I don't think so, dude. He's like, this guy raised a baby Bigfoot in secrecy for 10 years.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so obvious. It's like a shitty AI photograph of like a blurry Polaroid photograph.
And then you read the comments, and there's like 400 people going like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And you're like, come on.
Oh, dude, Duncan and I, back in the day, like in 2012 or 11, whatever it was, when I did that sci-fi show, Joe Rogan Questions Everything, we went and hung out with Bigfoot people. We actually went Bigfoot hunting.
No way.
Oh, yeah. We were with them for a couple of days.
How was that?
In the woods of the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because the way I describe it, I said, here's what you don't find when you go looking for Bigfoot. Black people. You're more likely to find Bigfoot than you are black people looking for Bigfoot.
It's just such a crazy
bunch
white
of
guy.
Unfuckable white guys out in the woods staring at shadows. It's
like making something out of nothing, right? Like, look at that leaf. It must have been here.
It's just unfuckable guys. It's really what it is. It's unfortunately, that's really what it is. It's not that there's not something to the story, because I think there is something to the story.
Yeah.
I think it's an old story.
Well, it dates all the way back to Native Americans, right?
Well, not just that. There's how many, we looked this up before, like how many different names there are, and I think it was more than 50 different Native American names.
You've seen this going on
Yeah, that looks great. This guy with his dead baby. By the way, you imagine sitting that close to that thing, how bad that would smell?
Yeah, it's revolting.
I mean, that thing's been dead for who knows how long, and this guy's just hanging out. Yeah, I'm going to take you a picture. How do I look?
Side fun fact, this guy was on your mom's house like 12 years ago.
Was he?
Yeah.
For what?
Is he like a fun guy on Instagram as a dog trainer?
That's hilarious.
Tom found his videos a long time ago, and they brought him in to do a podcast with him. And I just
No
saw him pop up
way.
again. I'm like, I know who this guy is.
No way.
But I don't know how I got into Bigfoot. He has Bigfoot's body. So I
Look
think
how
two of them.
bad that looks.
It's so bad, dude. Oh my
got some
God, look at
heads.
these.
Look at that.
Oh, look at the smile.
I mean, he could be just a full-on satirical troll. Which
Oh,
maybe he
he's
is.
sawing into it.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's a cake. It's going to turn out. It's going to be
It's a
like,
cake.
oh my God, he sawed into it. Open it up, Tom. Oh, he
wow.
found a foot.
Oh, yeah. Very
Yeah,
real looking.
Very real looking
So,
foot.
yeah.
That's really.
Also, if you can't trust a guy in overalls with no shirt, who can you trust?
By the way, guy's in great shape for his age.
He is.
Looks ripped. He's out there lifting up fake Bigfoots all day.
These things are heavy.
I think there was, I mean, obviously we know that Gigantopithecus is real, but we were reading about this the other day, that it seems like Gigantopithecus wasn't bipedal, and that there was some dispute as to whether or not it was bipedal, but apparently there's some biologists that are saying, no, it was most likely it walked around like an orangutan. It was
Interesting.
just huge.
Oh, wow.
Just a huge orangutan-looking thing.
Huh. No, I've heard of it. I didn't know that it wasn't bipedal, though. That's fascinating.
I think it's under dispute. I think it's been disputed.
That's interesting.
It's hard to say. I mean, they don't have a lot of bones, right? They only have like a few jaw bones and some stuff.
Of them, yeah.
There's like 50 different names that they have for this one thing that they universally described as a bipedal, hairy, ape-like creature that's 8 to 10 feet tall. And there's so many sightings of this one thing. It's not like people keep talking about different animals. Like, I saw an elephant that has 6 legs. No, it's always bipedal hominids. It's weird. It's a weird, because like, I've never seen compelling Bigfoot footage. It all looks bullshit. The Patterson footage, I think, is nonsense. I think it's a guy in a monkey suit for sure. I think most of what you see in terms of like photographic evidence is nonsense. But there's too many stories. There's too many stories for me to completely dismiss it. And I've always wondered if it's some sort of an interdimensional experience, and that this thing may be the fact that it's in the woods and that they happen under heightened awareness because you're in the woods and you're probably very nervous and freaked out. So you're probably in a very bizarre state of mind. And all of a sudden you encounter something that makes zero sense. And the same thing gets encountered by people over and over again. And you could write that off. Now, if you're a cynical person or a rational person, which I'm neither one of those, you could write it off and you could say, well, there's an archetype. People have talked about this creature, for so long that that's what you expect to see. So that's what you make yourself see. Maybe it's a bear that walks on two legs, because we know they do that. Particularly black bears, they walk on two legs all the time. I've seen them walk on two legs. It's very weird. But they don't describe it like a bear. They describe it like an ape. They say it has long arms like an ape, and that it looks at you, and that these things exist in the forest, like deep in the forest where there's no people. And then when people go out there, they encounter them. And the story is just, it's like the UFO abduction story. It's so similar. It's so similar over and over again, like a very similar story. And you've always got to separate the kooky stories, because there's always a bunch of crazy people that make things up. There's a bunch of people that are probably on psychiatric drugs, or they're tripping balls on mushrooms, or whatever it is. There's a bunch of people that see things that maybe aren't there at all. But then there's enough of these stories where you got to go, man, if just one of these is true.
Everyone, did you ever have Jane Goodall on here?
No, I did not, unfortunately.
I wanted to make that happen.
I wanted to, and I wanted she's gone, right?
She just died.
I wanted to talk to her about Bigfoot, because she was convinced that Bigfoot was real.
What?
Yeah.
She was convinced that Bigfoot was real.
Yeah. She did this interview where she said she's certain of it. Yeah. We'll find it. Jamie, see if you can find that.
Not that I don't believe you, but I just don't find Jane Goodall.
I know. I was stunned. I was like, what? And this is by the time I had been convinced that Bigfoot was fake.
Yeah, I'm in that camp.
But
there's camera traps.
But this is the camp. There was an animal that coexisted with human beings for sure that was called Gigantopithecus.
Yes. Fine.
You know the whole story.
Yeah.
So Gigantopithecus, they found bones in an apothecary shop in China in the 1920s or 30s. And an anthropologist found these molars and said, where did you get this? These are primate molars, and they're fucking enormous.
Yeah.
Like whatever this thing was absolutely huge. So they went to the site where they got it. They found mandible bones that indicated it was bipedal. So it was an upright walking primate that was 8 to 10 feet tall. Like, what the fuck is this? And so I'm sure you've seen the images of what a Gigantopithecus looked like in comparison to a human being.
Yeah.
It's in the orangutan family. And so that thing existed, and also existed in Asia, right? So you look at the Bering Strait, and you look at the Bering Land Bridge that we know existed during the Ice Age. And so we know that humans migrated from Siberia into North America. We know that for a fact. You know one of the reasons we know that for a fact? Because Mormons were convinced that Native Americans were part of the lost tribe of Israel. Yeah. So some rich Mormon guy did a DNA test on Native Americans and found out that they emanated from Siberia. Yeah. And so it was incorrect. Yes. So we know humans came down from there. Why wouldn't other animals? Sure. Well, we know they did. We know short-faced bear, a bunch of different animals that they find their bones in Alaska, and they know that they probably made their way down through North America. It just makes logical sense that if you have a variety of different megafauna, that probably one of those primates or a bunch of those primates lived in the Pacific Northwest, which is the area where they would be, right? And then you have incredibly dense forest, right? Yeah. So Jane Goodall won't rule out the existence of... But no. Find the video where she says, I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Yeah, because she was talking...
I didn't see her say that.
Oh, no. I've heard it.
I'm not
saying... Okay, just find it, because it exists.
It doesn't exist.
I can't listen to the videos.
No. Go to video.
Dude, she would have been awesome. You should... I'm so sad.
Jane Goodall on how Bigfoot might be real. That's it right there. Put the headphones on. Listen to this.
It's a 4-minute video.
Headphones.
Here we go.
I climbed into the hills.
Oh, there's Jane.
This was where I was meant to be.
I wanted to talk to you about something that some would say is fictional, but you would say, hold up, we don't know for certain, and that's Bigfoot.
Everybody talks to me about. I'm romantic. I would like Bigfoot to exist. I've met people who swear they've seen Bigfoot, and I think the interesting thing is every single continent there is an equivalent of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. There's the Yeti, there's the Yari in Australia, there's the Chinese wild man, and on and on and on. And, you know, I've had stories from people who, you have to believe them. So there's something, I don't know what it is. I'm always open-minded.
What about other mythological creatures?
Pause for a second. So they're saying that to her. He's saying that to her, and she said that in reaction to a previous interview that she did. The previous interview that she did, she said, "I'm convinced that it exists."
On that show, I tell a joke about Bigfoot. I never saw Bigfoot, but when we were on training. You do these training where you go make maps and all this shit, and we heard him.
You heard Bigfoot?
Heard Bigfoot. I heard him.
What does it sound like?
I could still do that. He does that, but everything you see on them stupid TV shows, that happened. He threw a rock. All the animals started running, and the Marine, because you know he's the guy who knows where the markers are, but we didn't know where the markers were. He's the one who says, "Hey, we're out of perimeter. Have you guys ever heard of Bigfoot?" Blah 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 blah. He tells us he was Native American. But he just said that, and
where were you guys? What state?
Like Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Where they do cold weather training. Yeah, and you have to make your own maps.
You sure they weren't fucking with you?
I'm pretty sure. Who threw that rock?
Somebody that was fucking with you?
No.
No?
Why you fuck with the animals too? All the animals ran too. Remember how you said they know how to get away? All these fuckers they just did a little mass exodus, and it's a old.
I'm very skeptical of Bigfoot.
I've never seen him, but I never heard nothing like that either.
So what if you had him? Did it sound like?
It just sounded. It was.
What was it similar to?
You ever hear Luther Vandross sing live? Like when you hear him on a record, it's one thing, but when you hear him live, he's ooh, like that. He didn't sound like that, but it was the same.
Power,
like hair on the back of your neck, kind of.
Really?
What the fuck?
Well, you know, bears do that sometimes. Yeah. Bears, especially when what time of the year was it?
It was winter. Because you listen to the wind. It's like it sounds like a train coming. You have to determine where the wind is coming from and get on a tree or something because a lot of the icicles are coming like darts.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Jesus.
And that night we were joking about. I was joking around about it and everything. And one of the officers says, you know, this is a facility, and you know, we don't. Heard you're a comedian. We don't make. Basically, you can't go on stage and go, hey, guess where I was at? So I was just in the joke. I'm just camping, and we.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but there's nobody's in the military. But and in the joke, I actually do see Bigfoot. It's a funny bit.
So tell me, how did it happen? What was going on? What were the circumstances?
We were
lay it out for me.
Okay, you have you get because it's cold and it's raining, and so we like in a little circle. And it's kind of raining, kind of sleeting, and we're talking about, well, you know, we're gonna do this and do that because we're comparing shit, and everybody's fucking up. We found our third marker first, like, and it's supposed to be like a 2 or 3 day thing, right? And the good teams, like, you do it in the classroom for a couple of days, and then a team goes out, team come back, team goes out, and some of the guys who weren't as good as us in the classroom were coming right back in 2 days. They just spent one night and came back. Shit, man, we was on our third day, dog. Like, what? And then our first marker was the third marker. But he couldn't help us. But then after we heard that, he's like, look, you guys fucked up. So because we're all.
So how long did it take in total?
Oh, we left right after that, dog. He told us he didn't want to be there the morning we wanted to be there. So, yeah, it's a lot of fudging going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, good enough.
It's good enough, yeah.
So you guys were out there and explain to me what happened and who was telling you that it's Bigfoot.
Well, we all heard it. Like
Right.
everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And then everything's running, deer, and everything's just like scurrying. But we heard the, you know how you throw a stick through the branches? He just throw it like it's just like a big something just flew through the trees, and then that's when he's kind of, you know, and of course we're like, "Fuck out of here,"
Right.
But it was just too weird. And then he was like, "Yeah, you guys missed your other markers. I might know where they are." Like, so we just kind of went and got on our markers and went back to the base. Because we're out, dude. We're out like 20 miles. Out. You have to make
Out
it.
there with Bigfoot.
Well, I wasn't really worried about Bigfoot because according to that dude, Bigfoot don't bother you. I was worried about the other animals.
So that dude's seen Bigfoot before?
I don't know if he's seen him before, but he just said he don't. But he just lets you know when you've gone too far in the woods.
Really?
Like nobody
I
ever
wanna
says.
believe
Nobody
this.
ever says that he grabs you and do nothing. He just does warning things, just like on those stupid TV shows. You ever watch those shows?
Oh,
Where they go,
yeah.
"Oh, we think we heard the Sasquatch."
Yeah.
And you
That's
sit
been the
up-
least successful show ever.
Yes, but
They've been trying to find Bigfoot for like 8 seasons.
I've spent
Still
a
on.
whole day on the road. Like if I'm in my hotel, I spent the whole day with, "Oh shit, they about to get him." Oh shit. Like, oh my God.
me too.
And then I'm like, it's 5 o'clock.
They got me again.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, man, I
Yeah.
gotta go get something to eat.
Yeah, those aren't so successful.
Yeah.
I mean, the best they get is like a sound.
Yeah, that's it.
But those
That's
people-
all I
those
got.
Reality shows, man, they're not really reality. They fuck around. They fuck around with editing. You know, I was on one of those.
What do you do the naked one?
A naked one? Like
The
a
naked
naked
one.
and confused?
Yeah, no,
What is it
naked and
called?
what's it called?
Afraid?
Naked and afraid. I did what you wear, man. You know how about I had a uniform on and we all got bugs.
Yeah,
So
naked.
I know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The suffering.
Yeah,
Also,
it's-
I don't know if they look at how bad can you get fucked up and how quickly can they get you to a hospital?
Yeah.
It looks fake.
Do you think the Gimlin footage is real?
Patterson Gimlin
Yeah,
footage?
yeah.
100% fake.
Fake?
Yeah, it looks fake.
Yeah.
Everything that looks fake is fake.
Is it a person in a suit?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's
Why?
It's a guy walking.
It's a guy in a suit?
Yeah, 100%. Although I did get really high once, and I was convinced that it was really Bigfoot, and I was being an asshole all this time. I was like, oh my God, what if that really is Bigfoot? I just been a dick. Because these hardcore Bigfoot believers, that's their footage. The Patterson, but there's so many problems with that. First of all, Roger Patterson literally got arrested for writing a bad check to pay for the camera that he used to film that. They went there specifically to film it. The guy, Bob Hieronymus, who says he was Bigfoot, when you see him walk, he's this big old gangly cowboy looking dude. When you see him walk, he walks exactly like that Bigfoot
You
thing
think it was
did.
him?
100%.
Huh.
Yeah. They even have a receipt from a fucking gorilla suit that they bought. Have you ever seen him walking side by side? Find a video of Bob Hieronymus walking side by side with the original Patterson footage. So they show the Bigfoot walking and then Bob walking, and you're like, oh. Like, I mean, because he looked like a Bigfoot. The guy was a fucking, you know, there's dudes, the big old cowboy looking dudes, big old fucking farm country strong dudes.
Yeah.
They look like apish. They're just big old fuckers. And this guy was one of those guys. And you see him walking, and he walks right, you know, they superimpose it. They put side by side, rather. And when they do it, you go, oh, yeah, definitely.
What a disappointment.
Do you want to believe that it's real?
No, I don't want to believe.
Did you ever believe it was real?
When I was 8, yeah.
And when you're 9, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, but my God, there's people to this day, those hardcore Bigfoot people are cult members. They really are. They decide to shut off a part of their brain that critically looks at information.
Aren't there any eyewitnesses who strike you as credible? I was talking to Les Stroud about this. Do you know Les? I was talking to Les once about this, I think.
Yeah, Les, he's a very credible guy in terms of like survival tactics. He knows a lot about that. But he didn't see one with his own eyes. He heard something, and he heard noises that sounded chimpanzee-like. Bears make those noises all the time. I've seen bears make those. I've watched bears make those noises. They make them particularly when they're fighting with each other. They sound very much like gorillas. They do that all the time. So if you were alone in the woods and you heard that and you heard smashing and thumping around, you're like, oh my God, there's a gorilla out there. Oh my God, there's some kind of a primate out there. There have been people that have spotted things that are very eerily similar to what you would think is a large bipedal ape. The problem is a lot of these places are heavily wooded and populated by bears, and bears walk on two legs all the time. So there's Bob, and there's the Bigfoot, right? I mean, case closed, right?
I never saw that.
I mean, look at that dude. Look, isn't he like what I said? Big old country dude?
Yeah.
I mean, we see that guy walking, and you imagine him with a fucking gorilla suit on. It doesn't even look good. It looks like shit. And it's just too convenient. All of it's too convenient. That the fact that the guy went looking for it and found it and filmed it, and the whole thing's corny. It's corny.
Data matters.
Data does matter, and there's no real data in terms of genetics. There's been a lot of like goofy talk that they found like some kind of human DNA and samples of hair. The problem with that is all that DNA's been contaminated. I actually talked to an actual biologist about this, and we did an episode of Joe Rogan Questions Everything for the Sci-Fi Channel on Bigfoot. We hung around with Bigfoot hunters. Duncan and I went out with them and looking for Bigfoot and camping with them and everything. And it's people that are just looking for something. I think at one point in time it was real. I think almost certainly at one point in time human beings did interact with Gigantopithecus. It was a real animal. You know about that? Mm-hmm. And Gigantopithecus matches exactly like what people talk about when they talk about Sasquatch. It looks exactly like that. An enormous bipedal hominid that was, maybe more than 8 feet tall. And they found out about this thing by accident when a guy was looking in an apothecary shop in China, and he found gigantic teeth that were clearly primate teeth. He's like, where'd you find these? And they go there and they go to the site and they dig out jawbones that indicate it was bipedal. And so now they know it's a real thing that existed. And I think they date that to, when do they date? I think they date that to 100,000 years ago. When did they date Gigantopithecus to?
Wikipedia says roughly 2 million to 350,000 years.
350,000. I thought it was closer. I thought it was closer to us.
That's just what Wikipedia says. I have to see if there's other disputes or something.
Yeah, see if because I'd read that the carbon date that they did on these teeth. I think they said that was somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and something thousand years ago. So that would put it, with semi-modern looking human beings. Mm-hmm. So the question
Very
is
modern.
Right, and then the question is like, how long did it survive? Like, just because you find something, say if you find one that's 200,000 years old, doesn't mean that it didn't exist 100,000 years ago or even 50,000 years ago. Like, when was the last one? When did they die off? And when did humans encounter them? And if you look at their range, like if they found them in Asia, and then you look at the Bering landmass, and you look at where does it drop off? Well, it drops off in the Pacific Northwest. Like that's like literally like goes down Alaska, makes its way down the coast, dense forest, which is where a thing like that. So proteins extracted from a roughly 1.9 million year old tooth of the aptly named Gigantopithecus is a close relative to modern orangutans. So protein comparisons amongst living fossil apes suggest that Gigantopithecus and orangutan forerunners diverged from a common ancestor between 10 and 12 million years ago.
Jeez.
But when did it die off?
It says the same thing. It says they hadn't found anything from
300,000
the
years
late
ago.
Pleistocene era. They only have this from the early part of it.
Okay, so it said the fossils date from around 2 million to almost 300,000 years ago. The sizes of individual teeth and jaws indicate that it weighed between 200 and 300 kilograms. That's a big fucker. Interesting. So that was Bigfoot. So if humans did make it to the point where we had language and the ability to communicate ideas, they probably would communicate about all these creatures that they encountered, and that would be one of them.
Yeah.
but the actual like Patterson footage Bigfoot, that's horseshit. There's just too many hunters out there, too many hikers
Who would have seen something?
Yeah, they don't see anything.
And you personally never heard or experienced anything?
No. Like a Bigfoot thing?
Yeah.
You don't think I would say that first? That'd be the first
Maybe
thing
you're
I would
holding
say.
out, Joe.
No.
You know, Les Stroud.
Yeah.
So he did that show about
Survivor Man Bigfoot, yeah.
but it just went away.
Bro, that show, I love Les Stroud. I love him. I love Survivor Man, but that show was so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He had a guy on the show that is known in the Bigfoot world as being full of shit.
Yeah.
Which is bad. Like, if the Bigfoot world's pretty open-minded. I mean, this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up about that 411 The Hunted thing. There's audio recording that was supposedly taken from the 1970s from Northern California. I want to say Sonoma? I don't remember where it was. It was somewhere in Northern California, but they call them the samurai sounds. The samurai, and it's the weirdest shit ever, man. It's like these guys had this spot that they would go into the mountains and they would hunt every year. And they built this structure out there, and then they brought recording equipment, and they claimed to have recorded sounds of these animals, these Bigfoot, and that these Bigfoot were around them all the time while they were up there. Now, what's crazy about it is the sounds are so weird. It sounds like someone pretending to be Japanese that doesn't actually speak Japanese. Yeah. Have you ever heard it? No. We'll play it for you. It's because it's the weirdest shit. It sounds so strange and so fake, but, you know, like they have these quote-unquote experts that say the human voice is not capable of making sounds remotely similar to this. The range is, which doesn't make any sense if you know who Michael Winslow is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
That guy that guy went on.
He does a woman peeing when she goes to the bathroom.
He does everything.
Yeah, he does everything.
He did Led Zeppelin. He played Whole Lotta Love with his mouth.
Yeah.
And it sounds incredible. But this samurai sound, like there's these loud whoops, whoops, and these guys are like in the foreground, you know, like the guys who are recording, they're trying to communicate with these things. They sound so calm. I mean, if there really was giant fucking 8-foot apes out there wandering around, like, you know, 200-300 yards away from you, screaming and whooping and talking, would you really, and you're in the woods, would you really be so calm? Wouldn't you be freaking the fuck out with these guys? Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I find the right thing because I'm stumbling across some traps.
Oh.
It's like people are fucking around on the internet.
I wish I could remember the gentleman's name.
Well, I think I have it. That's all I'm saying. So, Ronald J. Moorhead and Alan Berry, maybe? Is that right?
Yes, Ron Moorhead. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's it. The Sierra Mountains. That's what it is.
All right.
And so, it's the weirdest shit ever. Just listen to this. You're going to...
I read what it could be, but we'll listen first.
It could be bullshit.
Yeah,
That's what it could be.
That sounds like all aboard.
Listen to the guy. This is, hold on, stop. This is a terrible version of it. Wow. There's a better version of it where you can hear the guys really clearly. The people talking. I don't know why that's so scratchy. But they're like, they're over by the lake. Like they're talking like that. And they hear this very strange sound.
And they're being calm about it.
Yeah. And these, supposed vocal experts are analyzing it. The human body is incapable of making such sounds. And that area of... You got it?
I don't know. It says HD. I don't
Okay,
know
we'll
if
hear
it's
it.
better.
In for Nightville.
Yeah. They're knocking. That's another thing that Sasquatch do. They knock. That one's weird. Scoot ahead a little bit and hear the samurai sounds. Still sounds terrible. Anyway, these people believe that shit. Les Stroud was balls deep in this.
With that guy.
Deep. Apparently, he had an experience, and I talked to him about his experience. It's pretty interesting. He was in, not with that guy, but he was in Alaska, and apparently he heard some crazy noises, like some monkey sounds outside of his, in the middle of nowhere. No one was anywhere near, and he said he heard something run away, some bipedal sound of something running away. But again, even though he's an experienced woodsman, and he's a guy who's, camped out countless nights in the middle of nowhere and survives in the middle of nowhere and documents it. Like, he's the reason why those survivor shows exist.
Yeah.
Because that guy literally would starve to death and try to eat, like, bark and whatever the fuck he could for 7. You could see his face, like, sinking in. He was losing weight. I mean, he really did do that. He did all sorts of different things to try to survive, and then documented how he was doing it and what he would do. But he got obsessed with Bigfoot and then developed that Bigfoot show. And unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of faith in him because of that. They're like, no, you're the legit survivor guy, and now you're doing this show, and this is why it's ridiculous. There was one episode of the show where they had this guy who he was with who had video of a Sasquatch, like high definition video, and it looks so fake.
Yeah.
It's like he's like the Sasquatch is looking at him through the woods, and he's like, there he is. And it's a guy with a mask on.
That's how he goes. He yells out, "I'm a Sasquatch." You're like, oh god, he just yelled that out.
Makes the samurai noise. But this, the guy who had the video is known to be like full of shit, and here he's got this guy on his show, and then he, is this real? You be the judge. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say it's not real. It's a guy with a fucking mask on.
I think I did read that guy was very not respected.
Yes,
in that
by the Bigfoot community.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot community, again, very open-minded.
Yeah, very just into everything.
This other thing, like they would see trees that would fall over, like in certain patterns, and they were convinced that Sasquatch was leaning these trees against each other.
I thought it was to let you know where not to go.
Yeah. They had this idea. I mean, it's all theory, right? This idea.
Yeah, I think I've been following the wrong guy, dude. I believe all the stuff that you like is fake. I'm like, yeah. I only watched that Les Stroud one because of that other guy.
Well, I want it to be real. That's the thing.
I do too.
If someone had a convincing Bigfoot encounter where they caught it on video, where I was like, holy shit, what is that? Like, what is that? Or there was something, but there's nothing. Like, I've talked to a lot of those people when I did this show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything for Sci-Fi, and me and Duncan Trussell actually went camping in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't really camp. We pretended to go camping, and then we went to a hotel.
Yeah.
And then we came back the next morning, like, well, rough night of camping. But we were out there for days trying to look for Sasquatch and talking to people that hunt for Sasquatch. And the one conclusion that we came to is it's a bunch of unfuckable white dudes. Like, that's
just out there. Yeah.
Just out there camping.
Yeah.
It's just, but the desire for it to be real is so strong.
It would change. I watched, like that Finding Bigfoot show. I used to always think, because people are like, why is it on? I'm like, I don't know, man, because it's fun to watch. And if they find him, the world is different now. If they come back with Bigfoot, everything's different.
Everything's different.
Everything's getting different with the alien thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they're saying that's like true, you're like, it's a lot, dude. That's a lot to take. If we get, I know that they have the videos and stuff of the aliens, but like if we get up straight up start talking to one, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, here's something that came out today, Jamie. I'm going to send you this because Sagar and Jetty from Rising on the Hill, and I've been going back and forth with this, and I found this today and sent it to him. It's I'll send it to you right now, Jamie. It says, paradigm-shifting UFO tech that alters space-time is operable, U.S. Navy Chief Tech Officer. So it's some story that I didn't bother looking into because I saw it when I was on my way out the door, and I was like, what in the fuck is this? Because there's been all these sightings of these things that move in some weird way. Paradigm-shifting UFO tech. There's these things that move in this weird way that don't show any propulsion system. And, due to censorship, please join us on Telegram. I'm going to say, documents obtained by the Drive show the revolutionary technology that has capability to alter space-time may actually be operable, according to the Naval Aviation Enterprise Chief Technology Officer, Dr. James, how do you say that name? Sheehy? What do you think?
Operable in quotes. What is that?
I don't know. Good question. Reflect on why is technology that has the potential to change the entire human experience for the better always used for the defense purposes and military applications? What about the betterment of humanity? Yeah. I don't know. But it's Christopher Mellon, who's that guy who keeps coming up with all this UFO tech stuff. Can you scroll back up, please?
Someone's just like writing. I was reading through Twitter. It's like a story. It's not really like an article.
Right. Twitter feed of Christopher Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Defense Secretary for Intelligence from 1997 to 2002. Doing so, I came across an interesting post from the Drive regarding documents they received via the Freedom of Information Act regarding a space-time modification weapon developed by the U.S. Navy, which apparently has already gone through experimental testing. This in turn led me to evidence suggesting that other revolutionary type of technology that could no doubt be used to change the world for the better, blah, 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 was already operable. Yeah, I don't know. But this is what, if you pay attention to the UFO world, do you pay attention to that shit at all?
Not like actively.
There's a guy named Bob Lazar. And
I do know that because you talked to him.
Yeah. It was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had because you're like, oh man, are you crazy? Are you full of shit? Or is this real?
Yeah.
Because if it is real, this thing is a special effect created, a guy who is a special effect artist. Do you remember his name, Jamie, who made this thing for us? This gentleman, he's got a designs by Perry at Instagram, and he created this thing, and this is like a scale model of what Bob Lazar supposedly worked on. He was hired by the United States military to work at Area S4, which is part of the Area 51, Site S4. Site 4 was this place where he allegedly worked to back engineer these spaceships. And the way these things moved around was exactly how this Christopher Mellon guy, or this article rather, that quoted him as describing, that they use some sort of gravity, space-time bending technology. So they didn't use a propulsion system like a rocket, which shoots flame out the back. They bent time in front of them and just would shoot instantaneously to wherever the fuck they wanted to go.
So you'd be like instantly be able to go.
Instantly. What's fucked is that there was an instance off of the coast of San Diego in 2004 where a Navy pilot by the name of Commander David Fravor, who I've also had on the show, experienced this thing that they call the Tic Tac UFO. They tracked it with radar. They tracked it with the camera systems on their plane, and they even have video footage of this thing. It went from 80,000 feet above sea level to 1 in a second.
Wow.
That's the amount of time that it takes radar to do the blip, 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 blip. So in that time, it traveled 80,000 feet. They have no idea how the fuck it did that. It shows no propulsion, heat signature. They took video footage of this thing, and it went from there. It took off where they couldn't even follow it with their eye, just disappeared to the predetermined destination where they were supposed to coordinate later. So it's like it's reading their tracking systems or reading where they were going. And the people that worked on the aircraft carrier were telling the fighter pilot, like, we've been seeing these things over, we see them like every couple of weeks. We have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
and they just say, well, there it is. You know, what are we going to do about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I like to picture an alien in that Tic Tac. He's like, "Whoa, slow it down, dude. You're kind of crazy right now." Like he's having a bad day in there because he's got to be having just a day. Whoever's in there, some kind of day, maybe having a day. It's a lot to. Yeah, I don't know. You think it's like a lot to just tell people? Like if they had to be like to tell like just Earth, all of us humans on Earth, to like wrap our head around what would happen.
I think, what do you say if that's all you know? Like if you are the military and all you know is that something can do these things, something can move at this speed. You know, the New York Times had a front page article about it a couple of years ago. And basically they're saying, hey, you know, there are videos of things moving in a way that we don't understand, that aren't exhibiting a heat signature that indicates a propulsion system. And we don't know what it is. And then there's the COVID-19 bill that just got passed, and one of the provisions in the COVID-19 bill is that they have 180 days to release all the information they have about UFOs.
That's a lot, you know.
But I don't know if they're going to do anything with. I think they're going to do nothing.
That's funny
with
that it's in this.
They go, yeah, we don't have
COVID-19
anything.
bill.
Yeah,
like that's
a lot of weird shit was in the COVID-19 bill, like foreign aid. There's a lot of foreign aid to Pakistan, aid to all these countries. It's like people just to get it passed. They're like, okay, we'll say yes, but I want you to do a little favor for me and put this in the bill.
Yeah,
and there's just shows you how greasy politicians are.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but that's allegedly what all that UFO technology is.
Wow.
And I actually had lunch once. Eric Weinstein took me to lunch at Peter Thiel's house where we talked to Von Daniken. And it was fun conversation. Like interesting. I'm talking to, he's a full-on true believer.
Well, Von Daniken? Yeah, fully.
Of the alien theory, the ancient aliens theory. And I've gone in like multiple stages in my cognitive dissonance. And for a while, I was all in with the aliens.
I hear you. I'm the same, though.
And then for a while, I was like, no. There was an advanced civilization, and we're just a rebuilding of that civilization. And that's probably why we're so barbaric. And now I'm like, why are they mutually exclusive?
Right. It could be a mix.
Yeah, I don't think they are mutually exclusive.
At one point, the gods walked amongst us, you know?
Right. And that's when I see the things like the tridactyl mummies, and I'm like, okay, what is that? What are we talking? Why is Peru so weird? Why do they have artwork that you can only see from the sky? Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on here. Like, don't be so quick to jump.
Exactly.
But my point is, like, I have always been fascinated by stories, first of all, any subject that makes you ridiculous for considering it. I'm always like, what's that about?
Yeah.
Why is that
Scratch
ridiculous?
that itch a little bit. Yeah.
Even the kooky ones, like ghosts.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. All the kooky ones. Yeah. Like, why? What's the resistance?
I had
why
a,
can't you talk
Russian
about something?
astronaut tell me a Bigfoot story.
Yeah. What did he say?
Pinch of salt, but he claimed that he had been told this by a military guy out in Russia that they were in the rec room of this like Air Force base, and apparently, this is according to this Russian astronaut trainer at the Yuri Gagarin Space Center in Moscow, and he said that this Yeti Sasquatch type being apparently just walked into their rec room, helped itself to some water from the water thing, waved, and then vanished. I don't know.
So this guy, what was his job?
He was a trainer of astronauts at the Yuri Gagarin Space Center in Star City, Moscow.
Bro, they probably dosed him up with so many fucking
bet they did.
MK Ultra drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're holding on to that kind of information,
it's an interesting story.
They probably experiment on you.
Yeah.
They probably gave that guy some acid.
I've never given the Sasquatch thing its due course in researching it. To be honest, I've been very dismissive of that. But maybe it's real.
I have.
I mean, maybe like the
I
demographic
years
behind
I used to have a Sasquatch Bigfoot footprint, like a cast.
Oh, yeah?
Like a plaster cast on the desk. That rest in peace, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum. He just recently died. Oh. I had him as a guest on the show once too. He's so crazy. I asked him if he was so crazy, but in a wonderful way. I said if you could cut a finger off to know that Sasquatch was real, would you do it? He goes, oh, yes.
Instantly.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? It's your finger. Don't say yes to that.
Fuck it,
what if
Joe.
it's just the information just comes out and you don't have to lose a finger?
Damn it. Just sitting there with half a finger.
I think Bigfoot was a real thing.
Yeah?
I think that's why there's so, like...
Do you think it was just like some sort of like branch of creature? Because there's so
Yeah.
many people think it's like an interdimensional being or
It could be
some
that
sort
too,
of...
but I think it's Gigantopithecus initially.
Yeah.
Gigantopithecus was an absolute real thing that we didn't even know existed until I believe it was the 20s.
Yeah, around then.
The guy found its teeth in an apothecary shop in China, and then they started researching it and finding where the dig sites were. And, they found jaw bones that indicate that it was bipedal. So this is a bipedal hominid that's 8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? That's Bigfoot.
That is Bigfoot.
And that's probably, and also this thing 100% lived around modern human beings. Like what we are today, it lived around us. So imagine you see one of those things. Well, first of all, you're going to fucking run like hell. You're going to have stories. This thing lives in the woods or in the jungle. Stay out of this spot. That's where this thing lives. And that's going to be passed on from generation to generation to generation until even after they're gone, now it's just a whisper. Now it's just a thing. It's a mystery man that lives in the woods.
Are there like antiquated Bigfoot stories like outside of just modern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Especially Native American cultures.
Oh, interesting.
That's what's interesting is like Native American tribes. There's multiple, obviously, many different tribes, many different languages, right?
Yeah.
They all have a word for this thing. Let's put this into perplexity.
Yeah.
How many different Native American names are there for Bigfoot? Because I believe Sasquatch is a Native American. I don't know which tribe had that, but there's multiple different names for this hairy creature that lives in the woods. But they don't have names for like a giraffe that lives in the woods. They don't have like other mystical animals,
just this one.
mythical creatures. You just have this one.
Yeah.
And this one is a fucking weird one.
Well, that's what I mean with the interdimensional aspect. It's treated
Right.
differently than just an animal, even from like these.
That might be real too. This is
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we might be dealing with multiple different things. It might not even be Gigantopithecus. Sasquatch, Skookum. That's right. I've heard that. Oma. That's right. There was a movie called Oma. The guy who did the American Werewolf in London. out there.
That's just the last words you say when you see Bigfoot. Oh my!
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Chaitanka, big elder brother,
70 to 80 names.
wicked cannibal. Oh boy, Wendigo, wicked
Yeah,
cannibal.
Wendigo. I've heard that one.
Wendigo.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
And Yetisho, how to say that? Yetiso.
Yetiso? Yeah,
Big
Yetiso.
God, and that's a Navajo name. So there's a bunch of there's a bunch underneath that too.
Yeah, like it says about 70 to 80 names when accounting for
Right.
variants across 50 tribes.
Okay, so what is that?
And it's the same with the alien greys, like the ant people.
Yes. Well, and then it brings the same thing. Like it brings us to the same subject of what if there is a way to traverse dimensions? What if this is not as simple as something gets in a spaceship and it comes here from another planet? What if it's coming from another place? And what if that doorway is open to other things? And what if some of those things are Sasquatch? Like, and under the right conditions, this pathway is open.
Right.
And maybe it's not even something that it actually exists, but you can see. Exists in our tangible timeline, but you can see under heavy stress, under like anxiety. And imagine, what gets you more stressed out than being in the woods at night, right? The woods at night creates a lot of anxiety for people because there's all these sounds and you're looking around. It's dark, you're vulnerable, especially if you live in real woods, like woods that have predators in them. It's sketchy. And I bet there's different states of mind that you would, if there's some sort of a possibility, some sort of a way that an intelligent creature can get to a point where it has the technology to access other dimensions. It can go into other spaces. Would you even be able to see it all the time?
Probably
Would you
not.
only be able to see it if you were like under a highly anxious state in the woods? You're kind of a little freaked out. You're more open to weird things. And then it senses that and communicates with you.
Well, we are.
Sounds kooky.
We're dominated by our perception, and we have such a narrow bandwidth of visual perception. You know, you get up the whole light spectrum and look at visible light, just this tiny corridor of visible light that we're able to see. Obviously, we've developed IR and, different. And if you film the night sky with infrared, you get weird shit. You get these orbs and things that seem to fly by. And I think that it is a perceptual thing.
You were telling me you're a Bigfoot guy?
Big Bigfoot guy.
Tell me about this.
Here's the
Well,
problem.
you grew up in an area.
Yeah.
You're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That's Bigfoot country.
That is. I think that's the only reason I'm so into it.
Yeah.
Also, here's the thing you got to know about talking about me. It's not ever funny. And it's not, it's just, it's something I like so much that it ends up me giving you the same arguments you've heard a billion times.
Yes.
Oh, it's Gigantopithecus, came over the Asian
Right.
plain, it's a bipedal
Yep.
hominid, it's
Yep.
just, and then at the end, and everyone, my friends have experienced it, Harlan Williams just experienced it when I was on his podcast. Anytime I talk about Bigfoot, it ends up with me just going, please, Joe, can you just say it's maybe a possibility? Like, that's what it always ends up being.
Yeah.
You said it's. I remember you one time going, "There's nothing out there." Yeah, didn't you say that about
Hunters
Bigfoot?
don't see it. That's why I don't believe in it.
Some hunters do.
No, not many.
People that see it are usually loggers, hunters, natives, people that are out in the woods.
There's another problem. Another problem is dusk. You see things at dusk or at dawn. It's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Bears walk on two legs all the time. I have personally watched bears walk on two legs, and if I didn't know any better, and if it was a dark environment, like it was dusk, you barely can see, I would think it's Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah. But I do think Bigfoot existed.
Yeah.
There's some insane number of Native American words for Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
Sasquatch is just one of them. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of Native American words for this one animal that's fake, but all the other words they have are for real animals. They don't have a bunch of dragons. They don't have like mythical creatures in Native American mythology, but they do have this one giant man thing that definitely existed.
At some point.
At 100%, Gigantopithecus was a real animal. It was 8 to 10 feet tall, bipedal hominid. It
Yep.
was a huge gorilla-looking primate that died off somewhere around 100,000 years ago, but they don't know really for sure.
100,000?
Yeah, but they don't know for sure. The thing about it is it's like if you only find fossils from 100,000 years ago, you could assume that that this animal at least lived then. But you don't know when it went extinct.
Right.
You might find some new fossil like 10 years from now. They might find some new site. And wait a minute, these are 20,000 years old, or these are 30,000 years old, or these are 50,000 years old. But either way, anatomically identical human beings have been around for 500,000 plus years, maybe even more. So, or similar human beings. So then we definitely interacted with them.
Yeah.
Or they were around when we were around.
I think they're still around. I think there's hundreds, maybe thousands of them. That's what I believe. I think they're in caves or something. Or maybe it's...
You know what the problem with that is?
What?
They're too big. The amount of food that they would need to eat,
Yeah.
you'd have to be grazing all day long. See, if you're Bigfoot,
Posted in the Journal of Zoology this month.
if it's there, could it be a bear?
They're saying it's black bear, American black bear.
Yeah, American black bear that stands up.
But even
Yeah,
little
that's what I'm
kids
saying.
would know the difference between a monkey and a bear.
No. First of all, let me tell you something. If you're in the woods and you're in a heightened state because you're looking around, you don't know what's out there. It's all thick woods. It's weird. Woods are weird.
Yeah.
And you see something, you could trick your brain. I saw a squirrel, and for like 2 or 3 seconds, I thought it was a wolf.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
That's
like, "Is that a
real.
wolf?"
That's real
It's like,
between here.
I'm seeing something moving in between thick trees, and I see gray fur. I'm like, oh my God, is that a wolf?
Yeah.
Because there's wolves out there.
Right.
I'm in Canada. I'm like, oh no, it's a fucking squirrel. What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me?
Shoot it.
Yeah. It's like people see what they want to see.
Yeah.
And the problem is you get something into someone's head, a mythological thing, whether it's a UFO or whether it's Bigfoot. I think the world is way more slippery than we like to think. And I think there's states of consciousness that people can achieve during high anxiety levels, definitely during the use of psychedelic drugs.
Yes.
Sometimes during weird states in their life, like near-death experiences, loss of a loved one, extreme emotion, a lot going on, a lot of anxiety and fear, like you would have if you're in the woods.
Sure.
And then you see a light across the sky. It might have been just a meteorite.
Right.
But you're in the wrong headspace to
Yeah.
see that meteorite. And you just freak.
Yeah.
And maybe for a brief moment, you can see something that's been there all along.
You know how defeated I am right now. I just want you to tell
Bigfoot?
me, like, dude, there's some
I wanna
crazy,
believe in Bigfoot.
crazy stuff out there.
I've interviewed a lot of Bigfoot people.
Yeah.
I had one joke I used to do about Bigfoot. Here's what you don't find when you go looking for Bigfoot. Black people. You're more likely to find Bigfoot than you are black people looking for Bigfoot.
Not out there.
It's a bunch of unfuckable white guys out camping. That's like
that is the thing.
It's a community of people that want to believe something that there's zero evidence for, and they're fucking locked in.
Yeah, they're hitting a tree with a stick, going like, "We're gonna wait for a knockback," and it's different Bigfoot researchers hitting a different tree, talking back to them.
Yeah, it's like if you go to public land elk hunting, there's a bunch of people elk calling. You think, I heard an elk. It's a dude with a
another
tube.
guy. Elk, two men doing elk calls.
Exactly, to each other.
Across a ridge.
That literally happens.
I bet.
It does, 100%. It's one of those things where I wish it was real. I
Me
wish
too.
Bigfoot was real. Bobcat Goldthwait believes.
Yeah, he loves it.
He's all in. Did you ever watch Willow Creek?
I didn't piss me off because at the end it turns out to be, I'm going to spoil the Willow Creek, but at the end it's just a bunch of like hillbillies out there killing and blaming it on Bigfoot basically. That's like the end is
Wait a
like
minute, which one are you talking about?
You don't really, there's no
Goldthwait's
Bigfoot
movie?
I think that's what the end is, that like it's just some crazy people that live in the woods. It's not really a Bigfoot.
Is that true?
I think that's the end of Willow Creek.
I don't remember how it ends.
Because they kind of have this one kind of like Blair Witch like shot, and it's just a bunch of mountain people, which is the scariest thing you'll find in the woods. People.
Well, that's that.
People that want to be off that grid. People
There's that documentary Sasquatch. Did you ever see that? It's like a documentary series.
Yeah, and it turns out just to be the cartel.
Yeah.
Not the cartel, but like weed people.
Weed people killing other.
Blaming it on a Bigfoot, framing it to look like a Bigfoot's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they killed somebody, and apparently when marijuana was, when they were growing it up there, these hippies started arming themselves.
Yeah.
And then they had rival gang wars with people that would come in and try to steal their crop. And
Sure.
so they started shooting at each other and killing each other. And
Yeah.
that's what that's all about.
Or also like, some cute girl that's like, oh, I'm going to clip weed all summer and make $5,000 and hang out with other potheads who you don't realize how terrible that job is.
Well, you're involved
go
in
missing.
an illegal business.
Yeah.
And the cartel's in that business. Like, I had a friend who found a cartel grow operation on a ranch. Yeah, they were
scary.
He works on a ranch in California, and he was doing his thing out in the ranch, and he found some water piping, and he followed the water piping, and it was pretty considerable distance, and they found this grow op. So this guy had diverted water, or many guys. They didn't see the humans that did it. They took their shit, and then they never caught the guys, I don't think. But they would set up these camps in, they would go to, national forests. Apparently it's big in Northern California, where they go deep, deep, deep in the woods. They backpack in, and then they have a massive grow op on public land.
Yeah.
And they just get it till the time it's ready to harvest, and then they get out of there. But if someone interrupts that, if they get in the middle of that, they'll kill them.
Right.
Like, these are cartel guys.
Yeah.
So my friend John Norris, he's been on the podcast before. He was a game warden, and he found a creek that had been redirected, and he thought maybe a farmer had did this. Like, what's going on? Maybe someone put an illegal dam on this. They follow it, and they find this crazy grow op with the cartel and guns, and so he winds up, instead of just being a game warden, now all of a sudden he's got a tactical team with attack dogs.
Crazy.
And they're running in fully armed with flak jackets on, having gunfights with the cartel in the woods over weed.
Yeah. I will say that's the most frustrating part about the Bigfoot subject is you got guys who really no, I think an ape could, a pod of apes could live out here and this thing. And so you'll start to, guys like me will be like, yeah, this makes good sense. And then they'll get a Native American to talk about it, and he'll be like, it's the magic man of the woods. And you're like, no. And they're like, he disappears. He flies. He can stop the rain. And you go, this is, gosh dang it. We were making real good ground here, making arguments for it to be an ape.
I think the Native Americans are right. I think that's what it is.
Some
I think
sort of paranormal woods thing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's listen, if let's imagine that states of consciousness can interface with other things that are around us all the time that we don't necessarily see. Now, we know that's true if you take psychedelics, and we know that psychedelics are produced in the brain. I can imagine a moment where you are in such a state that you could see something that you would not be able to see under normal conditions. It's not outside the realm of possibility. I'm not married to it, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. Now, if that is what we're seeing with UFOs, if what we're seeing is our future, if what we're seeing with those beings is the eventual shape that human beings will take as evolution progresses, we become these genderless little spindly things with giant heads, flying spaceships with our minds. That kind of makes sense to me. If that makes sense, why wouldn't I be able to also see what we used to be, or what we could have been, or what other things used to live with us? And maybe it's almost like a ghost, almost like a memory that you can access of a different timeline, a different dimension where this thing does exist. And that's why it's so elusive and it comes and goes, because it's not a real material thing. It's a construct of the human psyche. But these people that are seeing it, like they might even literally be seeing footprints. It might literally leave footprint. It might exist for brief moments.
Makes sense. Passing in and out of this dimension kind of thing?
There's so many wacky stories about it. So then you have to apply the wacky stories to human psychology and say, okay, people are in a heightened state. They're in the woods. They're alone. They're nervous. There's cats out there and fucking bears. So you're kind of freaking out already. So you're in this like weird mind state already where it seems like more things are possible out there because there's no one to help you.
Right.
There's no city. There's no hospital.
Can't call the cops on a Bigfoot.
You got no fucking cell phone signal, and you're out there alone. Like, there's so many possibilities. It's terrifying. And that, to me, makes sense. Like, if there's a mindset that can be achieved, it's a mind state that can be achieved where you interact with things that aren't there all the time, like UFOs.
Right.
That would be when it would happen.
Right. Well, there's tons of like interesting stories that you'll just read about, like a thing just walking behind the tree, and it's not. But if it was a massive, 10-foot thing, you know, you'd probably be able to see it come out on the other side of that tree, and you see a lot of those kind of. Or I read a lot of those kind of stories, and I'm like, I don't know what the heck that. Yeah,
it could be that, but it could also be black bears. It could be that you're just seeing things because they're freaking out.
Yeah.
Bears freak you out, man. You see a bear in the wild, it freaks you out. And if you see a bear in between trees, you can just convince yourself that it's something, and then your brain plays tricks on you. The memory is a slippery bitch.
Yeah, I know.
Especially under heightened circumstances like that, like in the woods. Your memory's weird.
And it's more exciting to believe that it's real. So that's what you want to, you know, that's my biggest, I think what I'm holding on to so much is that, like, I think it's so boring if we just know all the stuff on our planet.
I don't think we do.
But that's my point. It's way more exciting to think, there's Bigfoots and there's...
Yeah, pterodactyls is one of my favorites.
Wolfman or Dogman or Mothman or any of these kind of like exciting things. I want to believe that.
Well, you know about that Hobbit man that they found on that island of Flores?
No.
No?
Hobbit man.
Good. Yeah, this is a good one for you. This is a thing that absolutely lived alongside people. And I think they don't know the timeline of this fucker either. But they think it might have been as recently as like 50,000, 30,000 years ago. And they were little tiny people, 3 foot tall, like almost like ape-like creatures. That's what they looked like.
Oh, yeah, see? Like a little baby Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, like little hobbits, man. And they lived on this island. And they were like a different branch of the human chain that lived alongside Homo sapiens.
Yeah, you see that? You just think you see a juvenile Bigfoot or something.
Yeah. Well, there's people that have cited these things in other parts of the world still to this day. They still claim that they exist.